Hello everyone, today I'll be reviewing the Breyer traditional model Flexible Olympic show jumper. He is a regular run that was released in 2014 and he is on the show jumping warm blood mold with the braided mane and tail version. And so since this mold came out in 2004, so I won't be reviewing it since it's a mold that's been around for a little while. Instead, I'll be talking about mostly just the model. So one thing I have to say about this guy right away is that he reminds me of the first model, I believe it was the first model that came out on this mold, the show jumping warm blood. He was also a chestnut. He was released in 2004 to 2005. And they already look kind of similar, so that is one thing I have to say already. They kind of have pretty similar leg markings. I believe the original show jumper also had some sort of white face marking, like a stripe instead of a blaze. I don't have that model, so I don't really know as much about it. But just by the pictures I see of it, they look pretty similar. I don't particularly like it when Breyer does similar colors in a mold too much, but I think it's okay though because the other one came out over 10 years ago. So that one's a little harder to find now, so that way people that don't have that one can definitely get this guy. And he is different though, this guy is still different from the other one, but I'll be talking about that more in a minute. So one thing about this mold that I really like, that I think is cool, is that he came with a little bonnet thing. So I'll be talking about this little bonnet since it's a part of the model, since it came with it. This little bonnet is cute, little show jumping bonnet, but it does have some problems. Here it is on Flexible, and it's a little hard to tell with my background, I'm sorry about that, but the ears are like too big on the bonnet. Kind of doesn't really fit him right. Kind of goes over his eyes, you can see. So I think that kind of is a bummer. It's not really, it should be fitted to the mold I think, since it came with this guy particularly. But instead, like you can see the ears, like when you squeeze it, his ears are actually right there compared to how big the ears on the bonnet are, so it looks kind of goofy looking just because the ears on it are so big. So that's my main complaint about the bonnet, is just that it doesn't really fit well, so it's a little disappointing, but otherwise I do like the detail on it. I do like that it has some detail on it. As you can see, it's got some white stitched on it there, so that's a nice little touch. Played with it too much and put it on other Breyers to see if it fits some other ones better, but I'm sure it probably fits other molds better than it does this one. Now a little bit more about this guy. So as I said, he's a chestnut like the other show jumping warm blood was. And one thing I want to go over right away is he has these spots on his hip. He has 3 right there, if you can kind of see. The camera is being a goof again. He's got 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. 3 dark spots there. Then 3 right here. 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. This one kind of goes like in a line, and this one's more like a triangle on how they're on him. And I want to mention this right away because when I got him and I saw those, I was like, okay, Breyer, that is a really weird mess up you did. I was not sure if these were supposed to be on there or if they were just something the painter on whoever did this guy messed up on. But they are actually supposed to be there, so don't be like me and kind of freak out for a minute and go, what are these doing here? These are weird. And I think they're still kind of weird. If you look, I actually looked on the actual horse does actually have these. You can kind of see on one of the pictures where he's jumping. You can see that a couple dark spots on him there. So yeah, the horse is supposed to have that. It's a little weird in my opinion. I don't know, I think it's a little odd, even though it's supposed to be like that. I don't mind it too much though. It's a little different from what you normally see on Breyers though, so it's kind of neat that in that respect, that's a little different from the norm. So I like that. I wish I could show this model, but unfortunately he does have too many flaws to be live show quality. He is photo show quality though, at least. But he has quite a few marks on him. He has some areas where some hair and dust is underneath his spray. And I don't know if I can show him as well in this lighting, but I have some pictures of him too. He has like a couple white dots there. He has a dark stain on his mold right there. His hoof has some, you can see where it's white on the top of his hoof right there. The camera is a dummy. There you go, hopefully you can see that a little better. You can see his hoof there. Did not get sprayed all the way, so it got white on it right there, and it's supposed to be gray. Here's his eyes. They're just normal Breyer eyes, black with the white. The other eye, and unfortunately his mold on my model is kind of messed up there for some reason. It didn't get smoothed down right. Neither did his nostril right there. So that's kind of a bummer. And another flaw of his is one of the braids on his mane. Trying to get my camera to focus on it. Right there, that's lifted up. Yeah, like didn't get pushed down all the way or smoothed down on it. So it's sticking up a little bit. There, you can see it. So that's kind of a bummer. Some more about him. He's got little gray chestnuts. And his coloring is actually really pretty. It's a nice color. The shading on him is pretty nice. Pretty, like I said, pretty good shading. It's not over the top or anything, but it's nice. I like it. I like the shading on his tail. It's got lighter shading. And then it goes to this much darker shading, which is actually quite pretty, I think. I wish they would have done some maybe shading on his mane. You can kind of see his mane doesn't have any shading on it at all. It's just the same color as his body. I think it would have been nice if they did a little bit of shading on that. His hooves are actually really nice. Not exactly the peach ones, but the other ones are actually pretty nice looking because they have lighter shaded gray and then darker gray. So like a light gray on top and then a dark gray on bottom that's shaded, which I think looks pretty nice. It looks really good on this hoof especially. Kind of see that there. I really like that touch. I think Breyer should do more models like that. Let's see, I think that's pretty much all I have to really say about him. You can see he's got some nice shading, like I said. He's nice coloring, and I like the mold that he's on. I like this mold a lot, personally. It's definitely one of my favorites. Another flaw of him, I just realized, forgot to say, is that he has, the masking did not go well on this part. It's a little hard to tell, but some overspray. And he also has some overspray on his face a little bit. Just a couple places. So his markings aren't as crisp. And I did not handpick this guy, by the way. My mom got him, so I did not see all the different variations of him and whatnot. I may be going to my Breyer store again soon, though, so I can see what other variations there are if they have him in stock again. So that's pretty much all I have to say about him. I would probably recommend getting him, especially if you always wanted the Show Jumping Warm Blood, the original one on this mold. I think I pretty much always kind of wanted that guy too, so I was really glad when they came out with him. So then I was able to get him instead of having to search around for the one that came out 10 years ago. So I would recommend getting him probably. He's good for showing. If you get one without a lot of flaws like I did, he's good for halter showing and for performance showing for sure. Especially since he has the braided mane. It makes for a really nice performance showing model, I think. So that's pretty much all about him. Go ahead and give me any suggestions for any future Breyer review model videos you want me to do, or just any videos in general. You can also comment what you think about him, and more Breyer model horse reviews will be coming in the future.